The response I hear the most when I talk about ERC tax refunds is, oh, great, let me get with my accountant. Which, honestly, why wouldn't you? That's my first response, too. But the thing is that we found most accountants and CPAs are either not processing these at all, or they just don't know enough about it, and many are telling their clients they don't qualify for it when they really do. I like to compare this to something I know, which is loan modifications. Back in 2009, when loan modifications first came out and the government passed those regulations, you started seeing all these third parties popping up and processing these. That's because mortgage companies did not have the time and personnel to process loan modifications, and there were so many people who needed loan modifications. So you started seeing all these third parties popping up and processing these. Some were people with mortgage experience who started those companies and did a good job processing them, but many of these companies were third parties who really didn't know what they were doing. They weren't processing them properly. They took advantage of people. And it took a couple years for the government to step in, put some regulations on there, and you started seeing a lot of those other third parties go away. And now mortgage loan modifications are pretty much handled by the mortgage companies or third parties who really know what they're doing. So the difference with ERC is that ERC is temporary. We know this is only going to be around till the end of 2024. So there's a lot of small businesses that are trying to take advantage of this, and CPAs and accountants just don't have the time to deal with this when it's something that's only temporary. They have other clients they have to deal with. They have payroll, tax returns, other things that they're dealing with that are going to be around forever. So they're not really taking the time and energy to learn how to do this properly. Now, just like with loan modifications, you're starting to see a lot of these third-party companies pop up who process ERC tax refunds. Some know what they're doing. They have years of accounting experience. Others are just trying to jump on this train and take advantage of it while they can and make some quick money. They all pretty much charge about the same thing, but the difference is if you're working with someone who doesn't know what they're doing, you might not get your refund, or there might be delays in getting your refund, or it might be processed and then it turns out later it was for too much and you have to deal with the IRS. A lot of these little third-party companies that are just specifically popping up for this, do you think they're going to be around in 2 or 3 years? After these are done, after these are gone away, those companies will be gone. They'll be dissolved. So make sure you're working with somebody who has a strong accounting background. Stay tuned for the next video and I'll explain who ERCgo is, why we have that accounting background, and why it's best to work with us or a company that's reputable.